you guys. Thank you so much. Desert View Band, let's give them another hand. Thank you guys. All right. Today's an amazing day. It's going to be a really fun day, and we're here to celebrate a victory and also celebrate a number of things, the arts and also education. So we've got some really great people here today to share with you, namely Congressman Raul Grijalva. Let's give him a hand. We have our superintendent, Mr. Dr. Izquierdo, and board member Eva Dong. Okay, so you may be wondering why we're here, why we called this assembly. You've been called in to help us celebrate. And what we're celebrating is an amazing victory by one of our art students, Kade Claw, who's sitting in the front row right here. To be selected as the recipient of this award is a great distinction, and we're really proud of Kade. And I'll let you know, too, there were 16 participants that applied for this competition, and Kade's was the one that was chosen. Go Desert View. All right. Kade and his mother will get a chance to travel to Washington, D.C. later this summer, and I believe the congressman will tell us a little bit more about that. Without further adu, I would like to invite Congressman Raul Grijalva up to talk to you all.
Thank you very much. You forgot to tell you, I went to Sunnyside High School. I graduated from there. No Bowie. There was no Desert View when I went to school. And in my neighborhood where my mom lives and where I grew up, it would have been in the attendance area for Desert View. So if I would have been your age, I would have come to this school, and it's a great school. We have a great theater program. You have two wonderful art teachers that submitted some wonderful pieces of work from the students here. Students and educators and teachers know we're caught up in this world where we test, and that becomes part of everything that education does. But education is really important. Education should be about the full person, and art needs to be part of it. Art's about humanity, art's about creativity, art's about individual talent being placed and used. And in art, whether it is the visual arts, whether it is the recording arts, whether it is painting, sculpture, music, as we saw today, it all makes a community better. And in our community, in the Desert View family, you have so much talent and so much creativity that makes our community even stronger. I always tell everybody, somebody said, well, you know, oh God, man, you're in the board, you're in a Congress, you go there, and it's an important position. And I always tell people a story that somebody told me. When I first got there, Mona and I, my wife, they gave us a tour of the Capitol in 2002 at night. It's a beautiful building. And they said, this is where John Kennedy sat, Abraham Lincoln gave a speech here, on and on and on. And I told my wife, what the heck did I get into? I don't think I can hang with these people. They're smarter, on and on. I'm just, I'm from the south side of Tucson. How can I hang with these people? Then about 6 months later, as I went through and I watched all these members that I had seen on TV, members of Congress, senators, and I said, I don't know if I can ever live up to that. 6 months later, instead of saying, what the heck am I doing here? I began to think to myself, what the heck are they doing here? Because you can. Education is the most important thing that equalizes everything. My family, I came to school not knowing a word of English when I started. My family immigrated from Mexico to come and work here. I'm a first-generation American. My dad worked really hard at construction. fifth grade education, sixth grade education. What I'm trying to tell you is that the opportunity that you have before you is the opportunity you just grab, and that there is no limitation. There's no limitation on intelligence, there's no limitation on hard work, and there is no limitation on talent. This one struck many of the people that looked at the art as being unique, as combining two pieces of art into one, and a very, very strong message. I think the school should be proud, the teachers should be proud that Kade is the winner. This contest, we will fly them to DC so they could be there for the opening ceremony, get acknowledged publicly. But today is nice that the school put this together. I know how desperately you want to be in class right now. You're ready to jump out and go back into that classroom. And acknowledge them, but also this chance today to especially acknowledge in front of the peers and say how proud we are to have this piece of art represent our district, and how proud you should be that it represents our district. Thank you very much, and it's an honor for me to be here today. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Congressman Grijalva. We appreciate your words. And now I would like to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Izquierdo.
By any measure, you know, we're here this morning, and secondly, I do want to thank Congressman Grijalva, who has been a champion for our district. He is not only political as he represents us, but he takes some very big stands for our community. He is not afraid to shy away from topics that are controversial. He has been a champion out there when Senate Bill 1070 happened in Arizona. He has been a champion of affirmative action. He's been a champion of our district in terms of how people talk about our district in so many different ways, and he's the one that sets the record straight. But this award is not only about the politics, it's about the arts. And really, it's about Desert View. It's about Desert View that has continued to redefine its image in the last 5 to 7 years in the terms of the arts and in terms of success, not always on the athletic field. It's been tough, we have to admit that. But when you look at the accomplishments that have been occurring at Desert View in the last 5 years with art, theater, we just received word last week that Martha Torres, a senior, just received the Dorrance Scholarship. It's a scholarship worth $20,000 a year for 4 years, and she's a Desert View senior. That's one of many. That's one of many scholarships. But you know the symbolism in that scholarship? She had to be the first one in her family to go to college. First one in her family to go to college. And for some of you, and some of our seniors this year, those are going to be some of the first ones in their family to graduate. Graduation is no longer a vision and a dream. It's an expectation in our district. Not for state reports, not for district average, but for the number of graduates that are going to cross the stage passing Ames that we count. And it counts if you're 4th year, 5th year, or 6th year. We want you to graduate. And I have to tell you, speaking of art and speaking of champions, your principal has been a big champion of graduation since he got there, since he got here. Please give us a big hand for Mr. Costello. So in closing, Kade, you represent not only our students, you don't only represent Desert View, you represent a Latino young man who represents this community in all facets of what we're proud of. And today, this morning, we're proud of you, we're proud of your talent, we're proud of your voice, and we're proud of you representing us in Congressman Grijalva's congressional district. Congratulations and thank you.
We're going to invite Kate up a little bit later to talk a little bit about his artwork, and we're going to show you the artwork too. And I would also like to point out, in the spirit of what Dr. Izquierdo just said, this is our second congressional art competition win. Just 5 years ago, Amanda Cabrera, a Desert View student, also won. She and her mother got to fly to Washington, D.C. to see the unveiling of their artwork. And this competition is throughout the United States. So they get to see artwork from other winners from all the different states displayed in the Cannon Tunnel, which I don't believe I've seen, but I'm sure it's very impressive. So that will happen this summer, and in just a little bit, we'll invite Kate up to congratulate him, and he's going to share a little bit with you. I'd like to talk a little bit about the nature of his artwork before I show it to you. So we're going to have a little show here in just a bit. Okay, the lights, please. Okay, so this piece was a combination of a writing assignment and a drawing assignment. Kate is in my advanced drawing class. And so we had them write a poem on the question of race. What does it mean, you know, when they have you fill out those bubbles and decide what you are, what label to put on you? Some of you get a little uneasy when they ask you to do that. Well, that's kind of what his piece is about. So he's going to share the poem that he wrote with you in a little bit. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about this assignment. First of all, as I'm looking out there, I see a whole bunch of people here, and I don't really see faces too well, but I see a lot of colors. You kind of look like a mosaic. That's a mosaic, okay? It's kind of pretty, huh? Or kind of like the backside of a tapestry. So I kind of see the big picture. You guys are kind of pretty. You're looking good, right? From a distance, kind of colorful, okay? But honestly, you know, I'm not seeing anything more than just what I think is just a bunch of teenagers, okay? And you know what that means, right? Teenagers are rebellious and, you know, troublemakers and traviesos and lazy and this and that. No, I'm just playing a game here, so just follow along with me, okay? I don't really think that, okay? But let's just pretend that from this point of view, that's all I see, a bunch of teenagers, okay? And I make a quick judgment. What do you call that when you do that? Make a quick judgment without really thinking, broad? What's that? Stereotyping, exactly. You know what? We all do it, okay? We all pretty much see people, make quick judgments. Why do we do that? It's kind of weird. Honestly, we stereotype from the time we're babies, okay? We are learning how to categorize, and we find out that, honestly, if you look at an individual, they're more than just a stereotype or a label. Each and every one of you is a treasure. There's a gem. Some of you are a little rougher around the edges, but honestly, every single one of you has something amazingly valuable, miraculously wonderful. And if I just call you a lazy teenager, then, you know, I'm doing a disservice, not just to you, but to me. So, children, from the time they're little, they're trying to figure out, what is that, you know? And we keep doing that. And even as we grow up, we still want to put labels on things. And honestly, you know, we're trying to see the big picture, and we try to categorize and label people and put them in a jar and put them up on a shelf, because that way we feel like we got you handled. We know who you are. We got your number. We got your label, okay? But I think you guys know that putting a label, people don't really fit in jars very well, do they? Honestly, you know, we defy categorization because we're creative, we're amazing, wonderful decision makers, and we get around, we travel, we try new foods. Anybody like sushi in here? Okay, so some of you, you know, even though you're not Japanese, you can like sushi, right? On the other hand, even if you're Mexican, you can hate frijoles. Who hates frijoles here? Okay. So, you see, we're all individuals, and we got to make sure that we don't over-categorize people and let people bloom and blossom and be who they are. You may not know this, but the 2000 census, they just recently allowed people to put more than one race. Okay, what's up with that? Some people are 3 or 4 races. okay? And if you look, they keep adding more and more categories because they see this is a really kind of complicated issue. What is race anyways? Does it really exist? Honestly, it actually doesn't. It's a made-up human construct. It's a way for people to put a label, and sometimes it doesn't feel good when people do that, okay? It started out with 3. Like 100 years ago, some guy said, hey, I know, let's create breeds for humans. We got 3, Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid, 3 races. Well, it's grown since then because, you know what, humans get around. It's just what we do. So what does it mean when, when they ask you to fill out that bubble or check that little square? How does it make you feel? What do you identify with? Honestly, it's up to you what you decide to put and if you decide to play the game or not. So this assignment that Kade participated in and created this amazing piece of artwork from is all about this question of race. What does it mean to be who I am? Okay? When we start putting labels on people, we think we got them handled, but honestly, we miss out on finding that amazing gem that each of you is. So, defy those stereotypes. Don't let people do that to you, okay? And don't do it to other people too, because as you know, it's not much fun, right? Here's an example. Y'all know pit bulls are aggressive, right? Mean, aggressive, terrible, right? Is that right? No? Oh, okay. Well, I'm kind of taking advantage of my microphone up here to show off my own pit bull, okay? He's the sweetest, nicest dog you ever saw. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He defies the stereotype, right? Rules are meant to be broken, and so when we try to categorize someone and say, oh, that's the way you are, because you are that, in the end, we find out that we're missing out, because they're much bigger, much broader, much more amazing than we ever considered. So be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. I like that expression. That's Oscar Wilde. You get to be yourself, because if you try to be someone else, it's already been done before, okay? We're all unique, and here is Kade, another amazing, unique individual, and this is his artwork. This is the winning artwork, and if you look very closely, those are all the words to his poem that he wrote about what it means to be who he is, okay? What it means, how it feels when someone says, fill in that bubble, okay? Tell us who you are. Are you black? Are you white? Are you Native American, Pacific Islander? What are you, okay? I think the real question should be, who are you? Not what are you, right? And here's another close-up. Let's see. That's Kade's eye. And this is a lot of work. That's a lot of words to write in there. And so at this time, I'd like to invite Kade up onto the stage to share with you his poem.
They asked me to write down my race, and I think very seriously, and consider writing down the truth and have my answer read. I have an elder who is cultural and courageous. He's showing children his past and beliefs around a smoky bonfire. I have a nurturing mother. She tells me her past while already occupied, preparing dinner for her other 3 children. She is overwhelmed and tired, but never stops to nurture and to guide. I have an inspirational father. He protects and cares for his family. He creates art and concepts with his camera. In his own spare time, he views the world and creates a theme, a topic for the world to see. Sometimes I'm questioned by others. They ask, why am I so shy? People want me to change. Maybe I do too. I have all of these pieces of art in which each of my siblings draw their own path. And on the canvas in which they paint is our nurturing parents that help guide and secure our paths. They asked me to write down my race, and I think very seriously and consider writing down the truth and have my answer read. I have a mother and father who faced great adversity until they came across each other. They both have their entire lives to share experiences, to share the love they had for each other. It's strange and funny how much is like a true never-ending story. Inside this body, I have my great-grandfather's adopted name, Thomas Claw. I have my mother with her calm, tender kisses, my father's pride towards his family, my sister's joy and happiness, and my brother's friendly hugs. Inside this body, I have my music, my artworks, my friends, my family. I have my life. I have a calm drifting wind and a supportive family. Inside this body, I have Los Angeles, Gallup, Window Rock, Fort Defiance, Las Vegas, and Tucson. Inside this body, I have dreams of achieving my goals, finishing college, finding a career, and setting goals for the next generation. Inside this body, I have my family and friends, but I stop and simply write down human. That's it.
All right. Well, as you can see, what's really amazing about artwork and poetry, which is another form of art, is that it creates images, pictures, and it comes from the heart. It's emotional, it's real, it's raw. It gets to the issues that we all deal with, and that is our life. How do we bring meaning? How do we bring purpose and beauty and justice into our lives? And art and poetry are an amazing vehicle for doing that, because honestly, when it comes right down to it, we're not just surviving here. Let's hope we're not just surviving. Let's hope that we're living full, rich, beautiful, meaningful lives. Art is a way to get there, and we really want to give Congressman Raul Grijalva a round of applause for supporting the arts and for making this possible. And congratulate Kade again. Okay, so we're almost there. We'll put the artwork back up for you to see, and if you get a chance and you see Kade around school, congratulate him, and hopefully we'll have a report next year about how it went in Washington, D.C. this summer, okay? Thank you guys for supporting us and helping us to celebrate this victory, and take art next year.
All right, good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate Kade for his efforts here and his recognition. I mean, it's really, really quite an honor for him and for the district and for Desert View High School. The other thing I want to do here is really congratulate you for being a great audience, students. I mean, you guys are really, really classy. It shows your heart, it shows your passion when you gave this young man a standing ovation for his work. So give yourselves a round of applause as well. Once again, I really want to thank our guests today, Congressman Grijalva, our board members, Mr. Buck Crouch, Ms. Eva Dong, our superintendent, Dr. Manuel Izquierdo, our assistant superintendent, Dr. Jan Vesley, for being here. It really means a lot, not only to the school, but for Kade, and just the support has been overwhelming. We have a lot to be proud of, as Dr. Izquierdo mentioned earlier. We have Dorrance Scholar winners. We have a huge award assembly for seniors tomorrow who have broken the mark here at Desert View once again with scholarships. Our seniors have earned more than $2.3 million, so we're very, very proud of that. So let's give our seniors a round of applause. I also want to mention that at the Crystal Apple Awards that occurred a couple weeks ago, there's probably about 15 students recognized, and Desert View had 3 there, and I'm going to try to remember all their names. Vanessa Vidado was one of them. We had Paige Thorkelson and America Garcia for their poetry and work as well. So as we mentioned, and we'll release you here shortly, we have amazing students. We have amazing teachers. We're lucky to have 2 amazing art teachers, Mr. Brown and Miss Michaels. Let's give them another round of applause. And also for our teachers who highly encourage our students to have a vision, to have that passion, and to continue to write, to show their thoughts as they do develop those thoughts and their dreams on paper, whether it's through poetry or other written documents. So again, a big shout out to our English department, Ms. Wakamatsu, Ms. Driver, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Salazar, Ms. Casey, Mr. Lee. I mean, there's so many of them. I don't want to miss any names, but they have done all amazing work, and I just hope that this continues, and I'm confident it will, and we're seeing the benefits of hard work. So couple weeks left. Continue that hard work. Let's close out the year strong. Thank you very much for being a great audience. You may be dismissed. Thank you.